where it's recognizing some of the more contributing members of the Hall of Fame that aren't necessarily winning every tournament and going for every Hall of Fame point. But
Hmm.
no one does more for the community group. Well, very few people do more for the community group than you, Kamber.
I try.
Yeah, it shows. Let me see. I know you're live.
I see my video. I don't understand how Discord works, but I see my video on the little Discord thing. You're still just your logo.
There we go. Now
And
I got
then
it.
there's a watch
Took
stream option, but I
took
don't
took a
know.
sec. Took a sec. So how has your adventure in cash gone?
It's been fine. I mean, it's work. Work is work. Um, Work in a warehouse and it's very hot, so that's something. But
Hmm.
I'm possibly developing arm muscles from lifting so many giant pieces of glass. So maybe I'll have some muscles by the end of the summer.
It's possible. Wait, you're a professional glass lifter?
Yeah, that is part of my job. I'm a professional button presser on very expensive printer
Hmm.
and also glass lifter when I have to be. Though I am not strong enough to move the glass like really on my own. I can pick it up from one table to another table with like a 1 inch difference, but I can't lift the 300-pound piece of glass really anywhere
300 pounds. Yeah, no, you're probably
because that is 3 times my own body weight.
yeah, you're
So
never gonna get there. Wow,
nope.
that's tough. How many people does it take to move it?
The two guys can do it
Uh-huh.
because they have to like pick it up off the pallet and sit it on the table to clean it and do stuff to and flip it, but they don't like carry it around. We have like tables with rollers, so we'll slide them onto those tables and roll them around. So you really only have to pick them up off the pallet and then put them back on the pallet at the end.
Gotcha. What is that type of glass typically end up used for? Are you talking like storefront glass or?
So what the job we're doing right now is we are working for a company that's working for Google,
Uh-huh.
and we're making bird safe windows for
Okay.
their new Google building they're building in Italy.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, birds fly into glass and die
Uh-huh.
because they think it's the sky. So in other countries, not in America yet, but probably eventually, but in other countries, they have requirements for if your building is a certain size, you have to have bird safe windows, which basically is just they etch a really, really small pattern onto the window so that birds can tell that it's not the sky. So like we're just doing like tiny itty bitty squares, like all over like a grid pattern.
Okay.
Um, and the glass are, I mean, they're huge. They're like 10 foot by 4 foot pieces of glass,
Uh-huh.
and they're double thick. There's like glass and then a gap and then another piece of glass, and it's all like wired together with electronics because these windows are also transition windows that will electronically transition from being see-through to being like shaded.
Nice. Nice.
So they're like very fancy and expensive. So basically, we're just the process. They send us the glass and we etch the pattern on there and clean it all and send it back to them. So because our company is I say our company, like I just work there. This company that I'm working
I
for,
say R for free play all the time. I
yeah,
just work there. I say R for free play when I don't work there, so I understand.
yeah. So our company,
Uh-huh.
they like invented the process that we're using right now to do the etching, and so we're like the only place anywhere that does it this way, which is like the most efficient and cheapest way.
Which is to just
So
hire you to do it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, there's like lots of grunt work and it's like an assembly line of a bunch of steps, but there's a very expensive printer that has to be used. And I proved to them that I knew how to work it one day, and they were like, "Hey, you should come back and do this when we have the super big job to do, and we need lots of people." So I was like, "Okay," because the people I'm working for race with us, so we've known them forever.
Right. It's been a while since you joined the stream, but you have joined the stream so many times that it feels weird even reintroducing you. But you're Camber. You do the cause free play posts every Thursday. I should tweet out the link too.
Every Thursday, it's a loose statement. It's been
Okay.
pretty hit or miss since I left for cash.
y- y- you've done quite well for someone who's left for cash.
Yeah,
Um, no, I know I've seen your color based cause free plays and participated every time I can. Um,
yeah.
You how have you been doing much cosplaying or cosplay related stuff out in your time in cash? I'm gonna tweet
Not
out the link.
really. Yeah, not really out there as much. Since I'm I drive out there and I stay there during the week. And I don't really have, I'm staying like in one of their guest rooms. I don't really want to just like bring a sewing machine and a bunch of stuff and be in their way. So I've brought a few like hand working projects, but I haven't really worked a lot out there. I just wait till I get back here. But like this week, I had a lot of time at home, so I've been doing a lot this week. And then a few weeks back, I had another like whole week off. So on those days, I'm like hitting it hard, 9 to 5, sewing and crafting. So even though there's, nothing to do and nowhere to wear any of these costumes I'm working on, but
Yeah, that's
eventually that might be a thing again.
That's a sentiment I've been feeling a lot lately. I was watching the documentary that we're reviewing in the next segment late last night, and they were following around the country to different pinball conventions, and it's just like, man, I miss conventions so much. I miss going to conventions with you, having a cosplayer there, having cosplayers around, having people around, all of that.
Yeah, we were talking today because they just canceled Dallas Fan Festival that was supposed to happen in October, which we all pretty much were pretty sure they were going to, but they were like really pushing it. They're like, oh, we canceled all these other Dallas ones, but we're definitely going to do this one.
Yeah.
We were like, are you? Are you? And they finally said today, like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And we were like, oh, what a surprise. But that was like the last big one in Dallas that was claiming to be done this year, and they've canceled now. So really all that's left is possibly TRF, the Texas Renaissance Festival. That's in like November. But I also kind of feel like they're going to cancel.
Yeah.
But it's like the only thing left this year that's vaguely hanging on. But
it's just hard to imagine.
Yeah.
I guess
I think we've all kind of given up.
I guess I'm going to use your one of your poison outfits for the Instagram post.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. At Kyrie Celeste. But can you spell your Instagram account for me?
KAIRICELESTE.
There we go.
Just smash some vowels and add some consonants, and that's it. That's about it. There's a lot of vowels. But I have been doing some like one-on-one photo shoots with a friend. Like we went out to the sunflower fields.
Yeah, I've actually
and
been more active on Instagram lately, so I've seen some of your posts.
Yeah, so it's like we've been kind of doing something because I feel like a lot of us still been working on costumes, and we're like, wow, it feels really depressing to finish it and then to go, cool, that was great. I guess I'll put it in a box now for the next 6 months. I was like, well, at least put it on and take some photos for each other, so we feel like we accomplished something.
Is that the plan, to just kind of put everything on mothballs and come back strong whenever you can?
I guess we've kind of been joking because like, every year we like plan out however many cons. Like I planned 6 to make this year. And then we planned what cons we were going to wear them to, because we had like, we're all going to be Pokemon people at this one, we're all going to be Disney people at this one. And we had all these things planned out. And then when they all got canceled, we were like, well, I already have the supplies to make these 6 costumes. So I guess I'm going to finish them. But then I have like 6 more I want to make next year. So do I have to go to twice as many cons so I can fit all like 12 of these costumes into next year? I don't know. So I think we're just gonna have to go to like everything and go like all 3 days to everything, so we have a chance to wear all this junk. I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
For any degree that I can help, I certainly will. It's always a blast hanging out with you at cons. Those are some of my favorite memories of all of working at Free Play, is just hanging out with you at different cons, having you dress up. I mean, honestly, I end up talking about it about once a week, specifically lately with DDR out at Free Play Arlington. It's like I won't play DDR unless Ono is beside me, because... Well,
I'm not going to say anything, but sitting right over there in my closet is a DDR cosplay.
Did you say a DDR cosplay?
That needs to be worked on. And I was hoping that I would have it finished before DDR ever made it onto Free Play floor, because I was like, oh, they're not going to put it out until they open like a different place, because they're never going to put it in any of these places. And then y'all put it out, and I was like, oh no, I haven't made that costume yet. I kind of wanted to wear it when I came and played DDR, but eventually, it'll be there.
Well, does this mean you're boycotting DDR until you have your cosplay ready?
No.
Okay.
I already went out. I went out like the day it came out. Like I drove back from Cash and was like, we got to go. We gotta
Yeah.
go play DDR. Played all the rhythm games.
I think I'm gonna hold to my only with Ono stance on DDR. I owned a big metal DDR pad. I definitely could play. I can play. I could possibly, with great injury to myself, get back into DDR shape, but it's just too rough on me right now. But there are
Yeah,
players out
we
there.
also have our metal mat set up out there.
Yes. Do you have the bar behind you that you can?
No, I've never used the bar
I
because
I
it's
never
too
liked it.
far away.
Yeah.
Like the one at the arcade, I can't reach it. My arms are too short, so I feel like it was always really awkward to use. And when I would watch other people use it, I was like, how do they do that? Does that work well for them? So I use my arms as like a counterbalance.
Yeah.
Because I dance while I'm dancing. I'm doing all these while I'm DDRing, so you know.
I want to in some way faux dance while I'm, dance revolutioning.
Yeah.
So always against using the bar myself.
Yeah.
That's for hanging a towel over.
Yeah. I feel like people look at me weirdly when I'm not using the bar. I go to places and there's like other people being really good. And I go up there and I'm like, I'm not going to use the bar, but I'm still going to play on like challenge. And
People
then
are
just
just
do
always
this.
looking at you weirdly.
Yeah, it's great.
Just regardless of DDR.
Also true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just weird in general, but
So what do you have? What do you have for Cause Free Play coming up? Do you have anything? Are you still looking into it or?
I wanted to do, since y'all put out all those rhythm games, I wanted to kind of do a rhythm game series, kind of like I did with the Rainbow Colors.
Ooh
And
La
kind of
La
go
is
through,
back. Yes.
yeah, and see if I could find some different rhythm games, not some that are at free play and other just rhythm games that I enjoy playing.
Are you?
Kind of do something with that.
Is that your favorite genre, rhythm games?
Maybe. I feel like it's the genre. Well, I would say it's the genre I'm the best at, but I don't know if that's true either. I feel like I'm only just good at DDR because I've committed like a decade of my life to playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm like incredible at other rhythm games, but I feel like it's a type of game that you can pick up and learn to play. If you have good rhythm, you can just like learn. Okay, what buttons do I need to push? What do I need to do? And you can quickly like acquire a skill at it. I don't know.
Most rhythm games I feel like are like that.
Like they're straightforward. You know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just follow the beat and hit things as you're supposed to, or whatever. So maybe, but I don't like gravitate toward. Like I don't know. Because I also really like puzzle games and games with really good stories. So I feel like those are the longer games I commit to. But like DDR is a love, and I like things like Patapon, like fighting and rhythm game. That's super great. They're making a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. I don't even know what it's going to be like, but Kingdom Hearts and rhythm games, they literally, I don't even care what it even looks like. I'm going to buy like 8 copies of it.
I can actually rely on you maybe to like I don't even know what's this washer machine rhythm game we have at Free Play Arlington. Have you played that yet?
The dishwasher one? Which one is
it
that?
looks like 2 washing machines side by
The
side.
one with the big circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that a little bit.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I played all. They're all 3 of them that were all next to each other. I played all of them. Definitely the one where you go against each other and it's like almost like Pong, but in a rhythm game. That's how I would define it. That one was super trippy and super hard, but fun. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is like the touchscreen one, which I like. Like holding and swiping. That one's pretty fun. And then the dishwasher one was like you having to go around in a circle.
Yeah, and then you're swiping for some and
so that one was also very interesting. I felt like that one was very big. Mm-hmm. Like you had such a large surface area you were covering, while the other ones are usually like smaller areas. So that was kind of interesting.
It made me feel guilty because I have laundry to do. So
I also really liked, there was another one at Richardson that was like 5 dots down below and you had to push them and spin them. I enjoyed the spinning aspect of that one because I kind of felt like, I don't know, like I was petting a cat and I was just like rubbing my hands, like spinning around. That was kind of interesting.
I'm trying to remember what that was.
It also had a foot pedal though, and I'm not a big fan of rhythm games that require me to use my hands and my feet at the same time. I'm not used to that.
One or the other, that's it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh gosh, I also have to like play a racing game at the same time and put my foot on a pedal. Like that's taking it far there, game.
But oddly, you do use your hands and feet when you play DDR, so.
Also true.
Yeah.
The hands are just more free-form choreography.
Yeah, I know the rhythm game you're talking about with the spinning wheels is
Mhm.
the same buttons and layout as Bishibashi channel.
Yes, it
That's
was.
that's why
Yeah,
we
because I was
have it.
like, oh, because I thought that when I walked over there, I was like, wait, this is like the same buttons. I wonder if this is the same
Right. Yeah,
company or
it's
whatever. Which
it
that game was also really fun.
yeah.
We played that one and played all the way through to the end,
Hmm.
um, and
Yep.
it like gave me good WarioWare Twisted from the Game Boy Advance
Hmm.
vibes.
Yeah.
Like that's how I would describe it
That's
because it was
very much what it's like.
with like
Yes.
weird mini games and rhythmy games and like smashy games
Hmm.
and yeah, I was here for it.
Yes, and it has rhythm game elements, and it uses the same button layout as the other rhythm game. So
Yeah.
we're it that one's been one of Richardson's most popular games since it came out. So I'm glad you guys got a chance to come out and play it. And thank you to you and your entire family for supporting free play throughout all of this period. You guys have been mainstays. Thank you.
Yes, we try. It was sad to see it not be open as with everything else in the world, but
Right.
um, we have we have plans to keep coming. I mean, anytime we can because we want to play pinball. Now that my brother is purchasing a pinball table, we gotta continue to be good at pinball.
Right. Yes. Actually, yeah. I'll be out at Arlington tomorrow, as Arlington reopens on the weekends. So I'll be there tomorrow. Have you played Iron Man yet?
Yes, we did play it when
What'd
we
you
went and
think?
played all the
Iron
rhythm
Man
games. I liked
Pinball.
it.
Sorry.
I didn't play it a lot, so I felt like there's a lot that I didn't know what was going on,
I
as with
always
all
feel that way.
pinball.
Yeah.
But I liked the guy coming up in the middle,
Hmm.
and you having to hit him. And I feel like the ramps. I'm a big fan of pinball ramps. I like always hitting the big swoopy ramps. So I
Yes.
feel like it
Me
had
too.
some good swoopies.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to play it some more.
Yeah. My
Get
favorite
more.
pinball tables are like mini golf courses, like
Yes,
very very small mini golf courses with windmills and stuff. Like that's all cool.
yes, I agree.
Um, Yeah, so you did get a chance to play. I'm really like digging the sound design on that one. It sounds all the Iron Man sounds and machine
Yeah,
guns and stuff. It
it
just kind
it
of looks
kind of
fun.
reminded my brother and I that we should go back and watch that movie again
Hmm. It's good.
because I felt like when the whole Avengers, when we're gonna combine all the people and we're gonna do this whole thing, that was like later after some of those movies had already come out, and I felt like I had watched those and not really cared about them that much. And then when all the Avengers stuff started happening, I was like, I feel like we should go back and watch like a couple of those Iron Mans and like the Hulk movie
Mm,
and maybe like the first Captain America because I don't really know if I remember everything that happened in those
mm.
because they were so early on.
I rewatched Iron Man fairly recently. I can tell you, at least for me, that one holds up. Like
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is very entertaining in the first scene in the movie when he's out in the desert and just being I don't know, weird arms dealing billionaire, and it's a good time. And then of course it ramps up, and then by the end he's Iron Man, which is
Yeah.
I know you were like 4 when that came out, but like that was really really shocking to see like a superhero portrayed that accurately to the comic book because there's
Yeah.
been so many that were just like the X-Men franchise from when you were -2. That one
Yeah,
was
I've seen those two.
yeah, I believe you. I believe you. But they had like their costumes didn't really resemble their comic book costumes.
No, not
Um,
really.
I mean, it was fine for the time, but like Iron Man straight up looked like Iron Man by the end of that movie, and it's just like,
Mhm.
wow, they actually went there. Not that the Iron Man Mark One didn't look awesome, it did, but having that end game suit was really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like I felt like when all that started happening, they really were taking the superhero movies up to the next level.
You're right. Stream canceled. I'm gonna go watch Iron Man now. Um, let's see. Are you guys coming out this weekend?
We have a race this weekend,
Ah.
so
Well, let
probably
me get
not.
into that. You are also a racer. I mean, it's your day in the Hall of Fame. You're here because you competed in so much stuff and cosplayed. You got a big bonus for cosplaying. That's why you're ahead of Cross. Well, that's like a major reason why you're ahead of Cross.
Yeah, he was
Um,
complaining about that this
yeah.
week.
Hey, you probably beat him anyway. To be honest with you, you were at more events. Um, you were commentary for events that you weren't even playing in half the time. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
you were always a mainstay for sure. So that's why you're here. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to think of where I was going with that. Getting distracted by the cosplay.
Well,
Um,
you were talking about racing, or I was
racing,
talking about
yes, yes. I,
racing.
I wanted to hear about your background in racing,
Um,
if you don't mind sharing.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, my family and like my dad raced his whole life, and so when we were young, my dad was like, "Yeah, we're all just gonna keep racing." And I did
Racing
bicycle.
like
I did like
BMX or
yeah, I did BMX for several years as a kid, kind of before I got into playing like soccer and volleyball and all of that. And then I raced four wheelers for I don't know 5 or 6 years. Got into racing UTVs, which are like dune buggy style things. If you don't know what a side by side is, and I raced those for like another I don't know 6 or 7 years, however long it's been since now. And I just started racing dirt bikes in the last couple of years. So, and we have our own race series where we race around Texas called Torn Racing.
how do you
And
spell it?
so TORN stands for Texas Off-Road Nationals. And this is our 15th year to be doing that. So it's been the majority of my life has been doing that race series. I was 9 when we started it, so it's like literally my entire life. And so
Like that?
doing all of that, and then of course now we also race other series. And of course right now we're not racing like personal. Our series isn't racing because we're waiting until after the break and all the Corona stuff canceled it. But we're helping put on another really big side by side race. There's a couple more of those races this year, so that's what we're doing this weekend. But yeah, we do a lot of next year. I feel like if things open up next year, I'm going to be busy 51 weekends out of the year because I feel like we're going to be racing like 30 of them, and I'm going to be cosplaying the other 20.
Yeah.
So
if I can help, I will do everything I can to occupy at least 75 of those 52 weeks.
yeah, it's going to be real something next year. I have a feeling.
Yeah. What are the what? I just don't. I can't imagine being a racer in all those different classes. What's the difference for you, like racing bikes and UTVs and different things like that?
Um,
Because none of them sound exactly safe. None of them sound like
no, I mean nothing is ever really safe.
sure.
Obviously, racing a UTV is probably the safest because it has a roll cage, and you're strapped in like a 5-point harness. I've rolled really hard in a UTV several times, and like I've been perfectly fine. You just get a little like whiplash, like a car accident, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean,
Not,
I've gone
not volunteering for a car accident either, by the way.
yeah, I've like rolled over really hard. Me and my dad have done like a full backflip one time. It was like super gnarly. But like as long as you build the roll cage really good, you're really really safe in there. And my dad builds all of our roll cages, so he makes sure they're like too safe. Like there's no way it's ever going to break because he made it really really strong. So that's definitely. And you also wear like a fire suit. So if you catch on fire, which doesn't really happen that often, but if you do catch on fire, you have extra time to be on fire in your fire suit.
All right. The question begs to be asked: have you ever caught on fire?
I personally have never caught on fire. Cross had a car catch on fire early on in racing UTVs. He didn't even realize it was on fire. His passenger was like yelling, "Hey, the car's on fire. Hey, we need to stop. Hey, we need to get out. The car's on fire." And Cross was like so focused on racing that he didn't even notice. But they did get out and they were fine. But it's not like a super common occurrence that it happens. It's more of like if you roll the car and gasoline gets everywhere and then you take off going again, sometimes that gas can get flaming. But no, I have never personally caught on fire. I've seen other people's cars catch on fire, but not me. So yeah, that's probably the safest though out of all of it, which I think is also a problem because people are more willing to just like go really, really hard in a UTV because they know I'll probably be fine. Like people will like run into each other and do more dangerous things because they know that them personally is not going to get hurt. You would not do that same thing on like a dirt bike where you are very exposed and in the open riding on a bike.
Yeah, so that's a bumper car course.
Yeah, so dirt bikes are very different because 2 wheels and balance, and the bike is heavy. Yeah, that doesn't apply to everyone, but it applies to me. Right. I'm very weak, so I try not to fall as many times as I try to always stay on 2 wheels because it's just annoying to have to pick up the bike all the time. Like, I'm weak. It's hot.
How long does it take to learn like a new class of racing in that way though? That's the thing that blows my mind is like, I would imagine they're related, but like what are the type of the sport bike guys that lean way into turns on roads? You know what I'm talking about?
Like the road bikes.
Like
that's like a way different set of
Exactly. That's such a different like skill set, maybe not skill
Mhm.
set, but like technique that like I wouldn't
Yes.
even think it translates to anything else. Like if I gave them a dirt bike, I would assume you'd lap them and laugh at them and then send them into the wall. And
Yeah,
then and
there's
it'd be
like
like I shouldn't have done that and then send them back
in
into the
some of
wall.
those racing things, it's a lot of the difference in like precision. So
Uh-huh.
like that kind of racing, I would say is like one of the top precise racing sports you can do. However, that's a bad
Yeah,
wording.
they
But
lean to
it's
like
like
within a quarter of an inch of the
yes, you are
pavement.
almost laying on the ground
Yeah.
and like this, and you're going like 100 miles an hour, and the slightest bobble is going to be like completely catastrophic. So that's a very like if you like precision and you know how to be very precise, like that's the point of that. You don't have to be near as precise in things like cross country. You just have to like try not to hit trees, which I mean is a thing. You have to try not to run into trees out in the woods.
All right, that
But
begs
that's
the question:
very
have you hit a tree?
oh yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
I broke my wrist hitting a tree on my 4-wheeler
Mm.
like 4 or 5 years ago. But that's like I just got back on the 4-wheeler and kept going because I was winning, so I didn't want to stop. So I finished the race, and then I was like, oh gosh, it's broke.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and you finished the race. Awesome. I think
yeah,
you've told me the story before too, and I thought you were insane then, and I am still
well,
correct.
adrenaline. I didn't even know it was messed up until I stopped and got off the quad at the end, and I was
Right.
like, oh wow, my arm is like really big and it really hurts.
Yeah.
I
You
think I
rubbed
might have
some
done
dirt
something
on
to
it,
it.
and you were good.
So yeah, I've definitely done that. I've definitely hit trees in my UTV. Of course, not as bad because you don't really get hurt. I've clipped a couple on my dirt bike. I haven't had any really bad dirt bike wrecks because I that's my newest sport and I go the slowest in that because I'm still learning like the technique of how to ride a dirt bike properly.
Is that
Like where
one
to
not?
sit
That was
or
not a
sit on the bike.
precision one you were saying?
Yeah, I feel like it's not like you definitely still need to be like I guess the fast people are probably doing things more precise than I'm doing. I'm more of just like staying on 2 wheels and staying on the track and making sure I'm doing things properly.
Mm.
But I mean, since dirt bikes require balance, there's a lot more. Like you can't just like on a because I did 4-wheeling for so long. You can like go up hills or go down hills and not have to think as much, I guess, critically because you have 4 wheels and you're going to be balanced. But then doing the exact same track on a dirt bike, you have less balance. So you really need to be focused on like where you're putting your tires. If you get yourself cross-rutted, you're going to fall over because you just don't have like you don't have as much surface area you're covering. You're like in a much narrower spot. So it's like it's a very different like mindset of where you're going to put yourself not only on the bike but also on the track.
Yeah. Is there much thought to like the build of the track? Like, is it slippery in places? Do you like it's off road, so it's not a smooth pavement. So
Yeah.
are you thinking about like the specifics of the track?
Yeah, because I mean, and especially since we race on all sorts of different properties, you'll have one property that's like super sandy, and a lot of the track is like really deep sand, and that's a completely different way to ride than if you were on something hard packed, because you have the difference in like sandy, super loamy, regular dirt, and then like the dirt that's been blue grooved because it's been ridden on so much that it's basically like riding on asphalt, and it's super slick. So you have to like be aware of what the dirt looks like, so you know what kind of, and then you have like really rocky areas where you're trying to like avoid hitting super deep rocks and hills and valleys and all and water. So I mean, yeah, you really just have to be paying attention to where you are to know where you need to be sitting on the bike, and leaning forward, leaning back, leaning to the sides, but also staying upright.
Now, does that translate to you playing racing video games?
You would think.
I don't know.
I've
Well, I
always,
think in Cross's case because I've seen
yeah,
the daughter's bedroom, but
yeah. Cross has always been super good at racing games. I've always been really, really bad, and I don't. I mean, he's obviously a better racer than I am in general. But I think a lot of racing games is more about knowing like line choice and knowing where the fast line on that track is. Like on asphalt, knowing like, okay, I should hug this corner, swing out in this section, knowing like the whole go slower to go faster. Sometimes you really just have to hit the brakes and go through something slow because that's faster than like going really fast and drifting. So I think a lot of that is put in racing games because you don't have
depending on the game.
you can't feel what is happening in the racing game. Like we have our racing simulator up here, which is pretty realistic, but you can't feel the car, you can't feel the G's in the track.
Yes.
Which is something that's like hard for me to. I feel like I'm very dependent on how it feels to know what I should do, where should I shift, and where I should be. And so when you're playing a racing game and you don't have those as options, you have to do a lot more like critical thinking of what you should do and not just like feeling it in your body. And I'm not near as good at that as he is.
That's interesting. I That makes me want to race more than anything. Just hearing about that technique, I'm always obsessed with techniques and the differences between, like, you're basically describing the difference between video game pinball and real pinball as well. Like, you could use
Yeah.
all those same metrics, and and it's not the same. It's not even the same.
Hmm.
And I have found learning to juggle that stupid pinball very, very, very fun and compelling. Whereas video game pinball was always like, that's pretty cool, and I like hitting the blinky things, but that was always what it was. Once I caught all the Pokemon and Pokemon pinball, I was pretty much done with it. Um,
I love Pokemon pinball.
yeah, but when it
I
comes
was
to
so
like actual
sad when I
pinball,
played real pinball and I realized none of those skills translated to actual pinball.
I'm hoping that
I was
they
like,
include
oh,
some collection elements in the new table that's going to be at your house.
I agree. I hope that because Cross mentioned that there's like we're getting a Hot Wheels pinball for anyone watching, not knowing the inside scoop. But he said that there was a like the actual little thing you open, like when you collect Hot Wheels that all go inside of it, and it
Mhm.
shows that up on the screen whenever you like earn a new Hot Wheel. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that there's like a collection case of all the cool Hot Wheels that we've earned in game, and that they'll be adding more over time because
Yes.
that sounds cool.
I've done everything but yell at pinball producers to include that sort of element in their game, and it seemed, when we talked to Michael from American Pinball, it seemed like he was about to include it, but he didn't want to reveal it.
Hmm.
Um, Somebody should, because they're going to be making a lot of money, and I think they're going to do it. So hopefully,
Yeah.
you let me know, and also invite me over because I want to play.
Yes, everyone is invited. We've already been like trying to figure out how we're going to host tournaments in there on our one pinball, and how Cross is going to convince himself to buy like 4 more.
All
You know.
right, that's a blow up. I wouldn't go that far. I know you guys will anyway, but I wouldn't go that far.
Now, I just wanted Total Nuclear Annihilation. We had agreed that we were going to buy Total Nuclear, and then the moment Hot Wheels gets dropped, Cross is like, "Oh, we're just going to buy Hot Wheels." I was like, "What? No, we had agreed. No, I want to play. No, Totes Nuke
I
is my fave."
I mean, Hot Wheels looks very good. It looks very good.
It
So
does.
maybe you need two machines, but I think they're going to. The plan has always been at Spooky to do a limited run table. Like recently, they did Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle, and then go
Mhm.
back to Total Nuclear Annihilation. Like that's their one that they're going back to. So that one's not going away, and they should have
Yeah.
another build if you guys wanna invest in that one or
Mhm.
try the resale market.
Well,
Um,
maybe when I get my cosplay done from that, I
I,
really want to put that on my 2021 list, but gosh, that list is just getting so stinking long. I also wanted to put Cammy on that list,
right.
and oh, just too many.
Right. Yeah. We can do it at TPF 2021 if that's a thing.
That's true. We did put down the date on the calendar for TPF, and we are going to try our darndest not to put a race on that weekend so that we can actually go
Yeah.
because we very much want to.
I very much want to as well. Yeah. Let's make it a thing for sure.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna be doing
if
so
we
many of these.
go, I will cosplay as something pinball related. I don't know what it'll be,
Just a
but there's got
giant
to be something
silver
I can
ball.
throw together in like 5 minutes. I have like a whole folder on my phone of like pictures from free play where I see a game or a character in a game and I just go snap a picture of it because I'm like, one day I might want to be this character, this random person in some random game.
Hmm.
So I have some pinball pictures of that too, off of the different like back glasses and stuff. That I'm like, oh, I could be this person someday.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, especially in like Medieval Madness. I've close cropped that thing like 40 times, and it's different every time. There's a weird security moat monster system. There's all kinds of stuff that you never see.
Yeah.
Back glass gets really wonky too. There's some that free play doesn't have that I've seen in private collections that are just like, what was happening? I think No Fear. There's a No Fear table, which was a bad era of like T-shirts from the 90s.
That's what I was thinking. I was like no fear, like the logo.
Yes, yes. And so it was just like this wonky, mashed together 90s bro nothingness in a table. And
Yeah.
it really seemed like 75 bad art projects smashed together and tied together by a silver ball.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
how do you feel about pinball? Are you a fan or are you just TNA fan?
I mean, I view pinball the same that I view all other forms of video games, which is that I'm bad at them, and I want to feel accomplished in pinball, and a lot of times I don't feel like I do that very well. So I don't know. I enjoy playing when I'm just like I'm gonna pick this table and I'm gonna play for a little bit.
Hmm.
and try to like earn something, do something. I want to accomplish one of the missions or something, but I just find frustration with them as I do with all other games. It's weird because like I can play a game like King and Balloons, and I'm gonna die in the same spot in King and Balloons every time.
Well,
I make it to the same level
so yes.
every time, and I die. Same thing. Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. I die on the same level every time. So it's like you start from point A and you make it to point H, and you die every time.
Right.
But in pinball, there's not like you don't do that because I die so many times with the ball. So I feel like I start at A and I make it to like C and then I lose, but then the next time you start at like E because it's a different game and you're never like starting at the same point because you're just wild every time. It's not linear. So it's like I want to win, but you don't really win pinball unless you're like amazing and you can play for like 30 minutes on the same ball, which I don't think I will be reaching that level anytime soon. So I don't know. That's my opinion on pinball.
I would love to get you to that point. I'm sure you could. You're quite capable at the racing and seamstress and 3D printing and everything else you do. So I'm 100% positive that you could be that good at pinball if you had the time. But as you said, you already have 75 weeks of next year booked. So
yeah, I am excited though that I 3D printed something for one of y'all's pinball machines, and I think it worked. Actually, I never got told if it did work or not, but I did do that.
It's
and
on
that was
the floor
cool.
now. Yes, it does work.
I'm glad
Thank you very much. What did you print?
I printed some piece for the Tron pinball game. I haven't actually seen what I was handed the piece, and it was like, "Can you make this?" And I was like, "Sure." So I'm not sure where it is on the machine. I want to go look and see if I can, because he said it was vaguely visible, the piece. So I feel like it's somewhere that I should be able to see it.
I can don't know exactly where it is. Andrew
bracket.
Yeah, Andrew would be happy to show it off, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I know I've been playing Tron Legacy because it's in our monthly competition at Arlington, and it's been playing great. And yeah, they told me that you had printed a piece, and that's why it's working now. So thanks.
Yeah.
It's really
cool. Cross was talking about how much he really enjoyed Tron. He was like, I could maybe buy a Tron pinball machine. Like, I think I like that one enough.
Yeah, Colin Mcalpine, who is one of the top 3 players in the state and one of the top 20 players in the world. That's his favorite table. It's the one that brought him into competitive pinballs.
Yeah, I feel like for a while it was like the bane of my existence because I really like Tron as a franchise. I really like Tron. I really want to cosplay as Cora,
yes. Cora.
Yeah. Olivia Wilde, she's attractive. I really like Tron in general. So I was like, I'm gonna love this pinball table. And I hated it because I was so bad at it. I couldn't figure out how to hit the stupid one of the ramps I could never get. I never got a multi-ball. I felt like I never did anything on it. I would just play and I would lose.
Gotcha.
And so then I kind of stopped playing it for a while because I was just frustrated. I was like, I don't understand how to play this table very good. But I finally have gotten to the point where I've learned a couple of things that I'm supposed to do. Not that I'm still not very good at the game, but I do enjoy it a little bit more now.
Yeah,
I've learned a couple of things.
Yeah, I've been steadily improving the 5 years I've been at Free Play. So now I feel pretty darn confident when I play pinball. I played the new Stranger Things pinball. Did you play that last weekend?
No, it wasn't there when we went up there. We came like right before it got put out, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got like all the top scores on Stranger Things, including the Grand Champion score, and like all the new. Anytime I play a new pinball machine, like I feel like I'm just gonna beat it. Like I wizard moded Monsters the first time I played it. Not that that's a hard thing. I mean, relatively, I guess. But like, first credit, you just hit the blinky lights and control the shots, and they're all the same. And that company makes all of their pinballs the same anyway. So I already can close my eyes and hit all the shots. So we're good to go. Yeah, it's. I like pinball, and it's definitely become more rewarding now that I don't feel. I always felt the way you did, the way you do, where the ball is just gonna go crazy, and it do what it do, and you don't know where to bring the game. And now I feel much more in control of it.
Yeah, I think maybe I just also don't like the aspect of pinball that you have to manipulate the pinball table to do good at pinball. Like you can't just play pinball; you have to be like bumping the table and like preparing the physics behind where the ball is going to go to make it not go in the out lane. I just feel like that aspect of it is like, that should be out of my maybe that's my Pokemon pinball life bleeding through.
Pokemon pinball too, so
I never knew you could do that though, so I just never did. So I just tried to avoid the shots that would make it go in the out lane. because I knew if I did, they would just go in the out lane and I would lose.
Right.
So, and that was like that was always out of my control. If it goes in the out lane, that's just out of my control. Like, whoops, darn, I did a bad shot and it went in the out lane. But now it's like, oh, you can prevent it from going in the out lane if you just move the table in the right way. Like, no, I wanted that to be out of my control. I wanted to lose and not be my fault. Now it's still my fault every time I lose because I could have done something manipulative to make it work.
That's
so
not always the case. Like it's not always your fault. And also, you get some bad bounces. Inevitably, every game of pinball that wasn't made in the 90s ends at some point. 90s tables, you just have to quit. Like Lord of the Rings. I've already dropped the ring in Mount Doom 3 times. I'm done.
Yeah. But I do have a Stranger Things cosplay just chilling in my closet that I bought for $5. So, at some point, I'll make it out to Richardson and play it.
Did you print a whole Demogorgon?
No, but I could.
You definitely could, yes. You probably
I'll just bring a bunch of like D&D dice and talk about Dragon's Lair. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, how are you on Dragon's Lair? I know you've been playing that at Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You have beat it yet?
No. I don't even think I've made it to the second level? Is that what you want to call it?
The second series of levels, yeah.
Sure, yeah. I don't think I've even made it to that spot yet because I've only seen like the same set of levels over and over again. So what I really need to do, I need to pull out my Dragon's Lair I have on the Wii so I can practice it a little bit more and see what more of the levels look like and remind myself what they are, because I'm still not at the point where I have them all memorized when they show up. There's still a few that I'm like, I can't remember, was this one where I was supposed to hit sword first, or was this the one where I was supposed to run away? I feel like if I can gain better memory on that first series of levels, then I can move on to the second series a little bit easier.
That seems like an odd game style to pick up, unless you have like a nostalgic slant on it. Like, what is it about that game that has you going on it? Because you played Dragon's Lair 2 as well.
I know, because that was so when I first came to Free Play Arlington when it first opened. I would say 99% of the games in that building I had never heard of. I knew the Pac-Mans and the Centipedes and the Asteroids, but that was like it. I didn't know any of the other ones. And so while watching my brother try to high score every single game in the building, I saw Dragon's Lair and was like, I don't understand what this game is, because it's just like a movie playing and I've never heard of this and no one else is playing it. And there's only like 2 buttons. There's only 1 button and a joystick, so I don't understand. So I would just like, I stood there for so long, like hitting the button and trying to, like, I don't understand what this game is telling me to do. No one's around to tell me how to play this game. And then I finally realized, oh, you're like controlling his action. And I think the idea of a game that's literally nothing but QuickTime events, which is like something I love in video games. I think other people really hate them, but I really like them. And so I think a game where it's like a linear progression, there's a point A to a point Z and I can win, and it's an achievable victory. It's not like I have to survive.
In Dragon's Lair 2 case, it's achievable.
Yes, yeah, Dragon's Lair 2. I don't have anything to speak for the first one because I haven't done that much on it yet. But I felt like it was a very achievable goal. I mean, I guess I thought that at the time because I had no idea how many levels there were or how long this game was. And so I think I just wanted to have one game that I could like really focus all my energy on, and there might be a chance I might be good at it. So I just like poured all of my effort into Dragon's Lair 2 for like 2 months straight. I came like 4 times a week and I played it for like 5 hours straight. And I think it also helped that when random people would watch me play it, they would like panic because they had never seen anyone play the game that well. Like they had never seen someone make it that far.
Yeah.
And so it was like also panic inducing just to have like a crowd of people around you recording because they're like, oh my gosh, someone's made it to level 4 and I've never seen that in real life. And I'm like, just hitting sword over and over again. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just panicking for like 5 minutes straight or however long the game is. So I think, I don't know, does all of that equal why I like this game? Because it just makes me feel like I'm going to panic all the time. And there was like a plot. There was a storyline that I wanted to complete.
Yeah, you and Dirk both have big families.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So it was like, I don't know, I just wanted to do the thing. And then when you get to like level 5 or 6 and you can no longer restart at the beginning of that level when you lose all your lives, you have to start over from level 1 again. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what have I done to myself? Why did I choose I think I hate this game now. And then I kept playing it until I beat it. And I have a picture of me crying and hugging the game when I finally beat it the first time. So,
See, I
all of those things.
I love the art in that game, and the
Mhm.
story, as you said. So I'm interested in the story. I love the art, and I want to see it, which means I really just want to watch you play it and beat it. That's. I
There,
watched you play Dragon's Lair 2 when I was in Arlington, and it was in Arlington, and then I would watch Paga play Dragon's Lair 1 in Richardson.
there's like so as I'm also this is hilarious because so when I'm playing it at free play, it's loud at free play. I can't always tell what like I'm hearing in the game because there's other stuff going on. So when I started, when I play, I've heard every word and every sound in that game so many times from playing it that I say every line in the game as I'm playing it. Like whatever the characters are saying, I'm also saying. And then when I started playing it here at the house, and I could actually hear what all the lines were, I was like, "Oh no! Now I'm a monster. Now I can know exactly what I'm supposed to say every single moment in this game." And I just quote the entire game while I'm playing it, and it just nope.
I've been
Not good.
hosting speedrunners a lot. Whenever we get done with the news, I'll raid some other channel, and I like to raid retro channels. So a lot of times I hit speedrunners, and there's some of them, many of them I would say, who do that same thing, except they're making up their own lyrics to background music to NES songs, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like jump and slash and jump, and like they're having their own like memory mnemonic devices that involve singing along to the music. It's very, very interesting to watch.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing that with like the sword and I'll be like, okay, this is a sword and left and sword and right and sword and up and sword and two sword, three sword actually, but then I'm like literally doing all of that in my head and also out loud. So maybe it's a good thing that Dragon's Lair 2 is not at free play anymore, because then I would look like a psychopath while I'm playing it.
Right. Now you just look like a psychopath wandering around, occasionally playing pinball and rhythm games.
Yeah. Because Blueprint won't show back up on the floor. Can't have my only game. The one game I got a high score on and was like, oh my gosh, I feel so accomplished. And then Dylan Smith came in and trumped it because he does that with everything. And I hate you, Dylan Smith.
Let me hit the
Let me have something in my life.
Let me clip that real quick. All right, we're good to go. As long as it's in I think it's still in the secret base. I think it's still Blueprint's still in the secret base. So
yeah,
if you ever catch me in Richardson, you're wandering through, let me know, and I have the key. It's right here. We'll let you play Blueprint.
Blueprint is one of those games that I would probably be significantly better at it if I would just Google how to be better at it. But I'm so against doing that when it comes to these old games, because I'm like, they couldn't have done that back when. That was another reason why I really like Dragon's Lair 2, because I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to play this game without anyone telling me how to do it, and I'm gonna beat this game without looking up how to beat it, and I'm gonna so that's how I feel about Blueprint too. It's like, I could be better at this if I would just look up how to play, but no, that would be cheating. I have to go by what the game has in front of me. Right. I guess I gotta figure it out.
No, blind running is the best way to play a game the first time for sure. It's just after you've beaten it and you want to know how to do better that's when I start looking things up. The high score chasers of yesteryear, they actually would network to learn how to do all that stuff. We talked to Big Gold, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought about that too. I was like, well, actually, I guess back in the day, if you didn't know how to play something, the 10 other kids at the arcade would probably know what to tell you what to do.
They ended up like keeping secrets, but the video game team back in the day, and we're talking like Billy Mitchell and Ben Gold and that era that were traveling the country, yeah, apparently they would run up $2,000 long distance bills talking to each other about how to get an extra 1,000,000 points out of Centipede or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for sure, but I think Chris Paga. I'm pretty sure he came up to me while I was playing Dragon's Lair 2 once at Arlington, and like was talking to me about it. And I think it was him, because I feel like no other person would have been as knowledgeable about Dragon's Lair as he was. But I've never actually met him, so I don't know if this is the same dude. But in my mind,
it looks a bit like old Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I barely even remember what he looked like. But in my mind, I clearly remember this moment when he came up to me, some dude, and was like trying to kind of give me pointers, but I was also kind of trying to ignore him because I was like focused so hard on playing, and I kind of felt bad. And maybe I should have asked him what his name was, and maybe I should have learned because I could have formed a great Dragon's Lair friendship.
That
So
also
I
sounds like
don't know if
Palmer.
it
Was
was
it
you.
Palmer by chance?
I don't think so because it's not someone I know now.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that whole like main free play group, and it was not any of them. It was someone that I've literally never come into contact with again. I don't think, because I feel like I would have remembered this person. I don't know, but I hope it was him, and I feel bad. Actually, maybe I hope it wasn't him because I feel bad that I was ignoring him because I was just really, really trying to pay attention, and I kind of didn't. I felt like I've had so many guys at free play come up to me and try to tell me how to play a game when I really just want to play the game, even if I suck. So I was like trying to ignore him because I just wanted to play and suck on my own.
I
think he was being kind. I was just being
right. Yeah. I don't ever want to be the person like over someone's shoulder ruining the experience of their game. I don't know. I feel both ways. Like if I see, because you and me have had this conversation a ton. Whenever you're struggling with a game, I don't want to see you struggle so much that you walk away from the game just because it's no fun if you're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
So in the way in which I can help in that way, I would love to help. And then in the way in which like it takes away from your experience, go have fun with the game. Like I don't ever want to be the person holding your hand, walking you through a game. That's what I want from you. I want you to hold my hand and in fact hold the joystick and just go through Dragon's Lair 2 so I don't have to learn all that stuff because that does not sound like an incredibly enticing like gameplay experience, whereas watching you play through a Disney cartoon sounds boffo to me.
I know. I feel like it's not an enjoyable, and there are still scenes from Dragon's Lair that I've never seen because I've been playing them, and I feel like I haven't seen anything other than the 1 millimeter square where the yellow light shows up. Because like when I was playing it originally, I was playing it with another guy, and we would like play it 2 players. We'd take turns, so we could like, oh, he got one more like quick time event further than me. Now I know next time to go left there. And so the beginning like 2 or 3 levels, I got to watch him play, so I got to actually see the rest of the screen.
Right.
The later levels, absolutely not. I've never seen like the full level because I only have played them the few times it took me to beat it.
Okay.
And on my Wii game, I have like the director's cut version, which is a completely different ending, which is like awful because all the buttons are different. And I haven't beaten it yet because all the buttons are different. I have to learn something new, and it's going to make me forget the other one. But anyway, yeah, there's like a whole thing there at the end that I feel like I haven't fully seen.
I'll try not to spoil the plot for you then.
It's like I've seen it. I've gone all the way through the end. And there's always like that moment where the last like 20 seconds of the animation has no button mashing in it, but I'm so panicked that it's going to have a button mash in it that I'm just like, where's the yellow light? What do I got to do next? But
are you in town for the weekend? I'm going to be at Arlington tomorrow. If you guys are out there, love to play some games with you.
Yeah, I don't know what our plan is
you're
because
doing races. You're doing races.
Racing. Yeah, so Friday is like, I think we're going to be out there on Friday too. We don't race until Saturday, but Friday is like, we have to water the track and do stuff.
That sounds insane. I don't understand, but I believe you.
Yeah, we have to.
How do you water the track? Are you growing something?
So it's not dusty?
Not dusty.
Because it's dirt?
If it's dusty, it would be
hard to see.
Yes.
The UTVs have 4 wheels, which means they kick up 4 times the dust. And I've raced many races where you literally saw nothing but clouds of dust in front of you, and you were going 60 miles an hour, hoping you remembered where the corner was and where the trees are.
Yet another game where I'd rather watch you play it than actually participate in it, even though...
Hey, and the best part about UTV racing is there's a passenger seat. So you do get to put someone else in the passenger seat, and you get to drive full speed through dust, and they just get to make them panic because they don't know what's going on, and neither do you, but you're just pretending like you know what you're doing because you're driving, and you have to be confident.
What's the passenger for?
Extra weight, so that the car is balanced in weight on both sides.
Gotcha.
And also, in some racing, like desert racing, where you're driving like hundreds and hundreds of miles and there's no one around, you kind of need the extra person in the car because if you like flip or something, you can't flip over the car by yourself. You need both of you to do that. So you can both get out, flip the car back on 4 wheels, and keep driving. So it's a little bit of both. I like it for the extra balancing weight since I'm so light. I like to have someone else really light in the other seat to kind of help.
That's what I was just going to ask is do you have to have a partner that's like the same weight or...
That's what I prefer. But I've also have raced a lot with like my dad, and I'm significantly lighter than him. But he
I
likes
wouldn't
to
know.
have.
Oddly, I've never met your dad. I've met everybody else in your family
Also
multiple
true.
times.
He weighs what normal guys weigh, which is like somehow 100 pounds more than females because somehow guys are just really dense.
Yes, we are very dense.
In all ways, mentally,
All,
physically, very dense.
always. This is accurate. Yes.
But I think he prefers a little bit lighter weight than himself because the more weight you have in the car, the harder the car has to work to carry that weight. So you don't really want a ton of weight in it because it'll make the car slower, especially if you're doing like motocross style racing. You really don't want any extra weight in the car. So we usually don't use passengers in that style of racing because it's just better to be light. But like cross country, I like to have a passenger.
So I love that you're an authentic 80s arcade kid, despite the fact that you weren't alive in the 80s. And I don't know anybody else who has that background. Like maybe Sonic Matt, but even he plays a bunch of like console games and like he knew what. Did you ever play the Genesis, that era of games?
A little bit. I think we had a Super NES.
Okay. Okay.
And I also had a Game Gear.
Right.
Had one of those.
Okay. Yeah, so
So,
maybe
but
like
I mean,
Sonic Matt, like the 12-year-old is your contemporary in that way. But like
yeah,
you're way after that era of classic game, and yet you legitimately are. Oh, Lauren Featherstone,
yes,
the Tapper Queen. Yeah, you have similar stories to them, but it's such a unique concept that you would get into and get pretty decent at classic arcade games without any sort of recollection of what an arcade is.
yeah. I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that I wear vintage clothing from like the 60s through 80s, sometimes even older than that, 50s through 80s. And so it's like I was not alive when this dress was popular, but I still enjoy wearing it and like reminiscing on that time and that existence, even though I was not a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it kind of goes along with that. Not to say that every person who likes old video games likes to dress like they're also from olden times, but I do.
All right. So tell me about the bracelets because they are one of your calling stones.
I have so few right now because I did a photo shoot and I had to cut them all off.
Gotcha. So how long have you had those?
This one was from just going to Arlington like in the last week, but then this one I think is the one from Richardson, which was like 3 weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this weekend at the race, I'll get a couple of more from the race, and then I'll just keep keeping them on forever. But when I was younger, back when the rubber bracelets were really popular, that you would get at like random events, that the removable
strong era, that one.
Yeah, that era. So I used to wear 14 of them on my right arm because 14 is my racing number.
Okay.
So I had like a huge collection, and I would change them out based on like different color schemes and just like being overall weird. So I did that for a really, really long time, probably up until like high school, because then I was having to take them off so much to play sports that it just got annoying. But then like free play started, and I got to start wearing, and I would get them like 2 or 3 times a week. And then I would also have them at the races, and then I would also get them at conventions. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like. I remembered wearing all those bracelets, and I liked it so much because I really don't like wearing jewelry, and so these are like, I don't care if they get messed up because they're literal paper attached to me. So it's cool if they get wet or if they get dirty, and I can just cut them off, and I don't feel bad. But I want to leave them on. It's like a challenge. How long can I leave them on before they disintegrate off of my arm?
What's your record?
There's been some free play bracelets I've had. There's been times where I've had like 7 or 8 free play bracelets of all the different colors, and you can just see like the deterioration level of some of them getting worse and worse. But like months. I definitely you can go months in a paper bracelet. And then you have like the harder ones that are like plastic that fold over and have like the snap. Those things are literally indefinite. I've probably worn one of those for like over a year.
Holy cow.
And all the color had come off of it, and it was just like a clear piece of plastic, and I finally just had to cut it off or something because it was just like, it's not going to fall off. It's plastic.
And what do Cross and Jess think of this one, of this habit? Because I don't see them.
Like
I don't see them with it.
No, because they don't like stuff on their arms. I don't think they like the feeling of it on there. Like in the summer, gosh, it's so hot in the summer sometimes. But you just embrace it. I think everyone else just thinks it's weird. My mom really doesn't like it because she thinks they're ugly, and she would rather me look not ugly, especially when I'm wearing like cute 50s housewife dress, and then you just have like 8 paper bracelets attached to your arm. It really throws off the feng shui. I mean, I also have like the classic Velcro waterproof watch that I always wear.
Yeah, I haven't worn a watch in Well, since the '80s arcades.
Yeah, so it's like my accessories are very inaccurate to everything else, but I just like them, so I don't care.
Yeah, you still look fine, and they are very you. Like
Yeah.
it is your style, and
I know it's become like my calling card somehow,
correct.
which is interesting and bizarre, but I guess I'm okay with it.
All of that's accurate. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting and bizarre, but like that's why it's your calling card. Is
Yeah,
like
'cause I am that. I am interesting and bizarre.
that is accurate. Yes, yes. Hopefully we get to go like catch that Alamo movie at some point.
At some point, I hope those tickets don't become non-usable.
You and me both. I got another one from Nate. He won one in a tournament, and he's like, "Here you go, Chris. You can have it for the next time you're at Alamo Cedars." Like, I hope I'm at Alamo Cedars at some point, sort of.
Yeah, I hope I get to go eventually
I just want
when
to see a
movies come
movie.
up again. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to see Bill and Ted 8 on Michael Beltran's home theater scene on the side of a building, whatever it is.
Oh, I hope I get to watch Bill and Ted in the theaters.
Me too.
Man.
Me too.
Because, like, oh, so excited. Love Bill and Ted.
This is what we're going to do. Like we talked about it earlier, me and Mike did, because we were going to go watch it together, and you're invited, of course. But I want to see it like at Alamo Drafthouse. That's my preferred theater. Do you have a preferred theater at all?
Not really.
Don't care. Okay. Me, it's Alamo or nothing at this point. And if they're not open, if they're not showing it, then I really don't want to go see it at the AMC and like expose myself to people yelling in the theater and stuff I'm taking my own chances on the coronavirus, wearing masks and stuff, but like I don't want people interrupting my movie with tales of what's going to happen next. So Alamo has always been good about that. So if they're not open, then I'm gonna go watch it on demand because they're releasing it same day on demand, and we'll watch it on Mount Beltran and. We'll see. We'll see if this will be a trial run. If Mount Beltran can be quiet while they watch the movie with me, then I can watch the movies there. But otherwise, it's like I did at 2:30 in the morning when I'm watching this documentary for pinball, or I just watch it on the computer.
Yeah, I know that we're all gonna go see it probably as a family. Possibly invite youth kids to go see it because I feel like none of them have actually seen the other Bill and Ted movies, but. Like, it's going to have to be an event because I feel like it's a momentous occasion.
Who are you cosplaying for that?
I know. I really want to. I'm really tempted to pick one of like the kids from the trailers and find. I feel like I could thrift their outfits or at least throw them together fairly decently. My hair doesn't really go with them, but I can make something work. I'm sure.
I'm confident that you could cosplay every character in the history of Bill and Ted movies. Like, I could see you. I've seen you dress up as princesses before. You could do princesses. You could do Bill. You could do Ted. You could do Rufus. You could do the future people in their weird robes. You could do Death. All of these things, I would believe. I don't know. I think the least likely is probably Death for you. Have you done?
I love Death so much, but no, I probably would not.
Yeah, I haven't seen you. I've seen you like Mercy Angel, but like I haven't seen you in like a really. Have you ever done like a goth style cosplay?
Not really. I've done like goth style, just like regular weird outfits.
I've seen you next to goth style.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really bad at makeup, and makeup is such a vital part of being goth that I feel like I can't accomplish that look. But I feel like I have very gothic like outfits.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And you did the Castlevania cosplay as Alucard, which I still appreciate, by the way.
Stuff. Yeah. So, you know, it's what it is. I will be cosplaying as my Dungeons and Dragons character next year, and if that's not goth, I don't know what. Actually, it's not really goth. It's more like swamp witch, hag.
The one from the
cartoon.
But
I will be painting myself gray.
Okay. Yeah, that's close enough.
So that'll be something. Got all sorts of plans. 2020. I'm actually in the process of making articulated wings right now.
What?
That's been my this week adventure. I have one wing done.
Do you have some sort of flying race you're about to partake in?
Yeah. And I have like all these 3D printed pieces that I designed and built to be my pulley system for my articulatedness. So, because I made these wings that are hanging on my wall for my Mercy.
Yes.
But they were just wings. They were boring. These are going to be exciting wings. These are going to move.
Holy cow! Is this Mercy 2.0 or do you have another?
No, this is for another. I actually have cosplayed as this character on one of the cost free play streams.
So
this
D&D
is my
character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the character that had all the bones attached to me and my skull hat.
Mm-hmm.
He has Da Vinci wings, so I'm making some for no reason because they're barely visible. But I'm gonna freaking make them, and I'm gonna look great.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna look ridiculous, but I'm gonna have wings while doing it. So that was supposed to be one of our big 2020 things. We were like gonna go to an out-of-state con and wear these outfits, and then thanks, Ronies.
I know. I need things to open back up. I'm so ready to do dang near anything. Hello, Dylan. Yeah, I'm beside myself. Like I was watching this documentary, and there's a whole section where they're going to conventions, and I just wanted to go to a pinball convention or any convention. I would take dang near any convention right now, and just live it up because I do want to see people. Hell, I'll take Friday if people show up at Arlington. That'll be nice enough.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It's something. It's made us all appreciate how much we enjoyed doing things.
Yeah, and people and stuff. Even people. What about you? Has it given you an appreciation for people? I know you're classically surly.
I know, that's the thing. It's like I really enjoy not being around people, and I really enjoy being home. But I mean, I feel like now that I have less opportunity to see people, it seems more genuine or more worth it when you do see them. To go like 4 months without seeing a friend, and then to like go visit them at work or something very casual, and to be like, oh wow, I haven't seen your face in like literally months. I haven't talked to you in literally months. This just seems weird. Like I was previously seeing you like every other week, and now it's been months.
I feel so much more needy. Like I don't leave because I don't know when I'll see you again. Like legitimately, I have no idea. I have no idea what the world's gonna be like in a week. So
yeah,
I hope I see you.
It's interesting. I still enjoy my alone time, but I feel like it's made the public times more.
It has
useful.
Definitely
more
like
purposeful.
this is by far the longest I've been without seeing a superhero movie since Iron Man was released. Like I would watch everyone. I think we were going over it at Free Play Richardson today, and I think the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, the one with Andrew Garfield, like that's about the only superhero movie I've not watched in theaters since Iron Man was released. I watch everything, even if it's terrible. Even if I know it's terrible, I tend to go watch it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I even watched that weird Sonic the Hedgehog movie, or at least 98% of it.
Yeah, most of it.
We're still waiting on the ending to see. It was a cliffhanger.
Still never know.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger.
It's like when a show has a cliffhanger and then they never come out with a season 2, and you just never know what happened to the characters. That's how it feels. Like I'll just literally never know what happened to Sonic and Dr. Robotnik.
Do you watch anything? Are you streaming a lot? Well, not out in cash with nothing to do.
Yeah, I've binge watched all of Avatar, The Last Airbender. I will be cosplaying as Azula next year, along with a very large group of my friends.
What does Azula bend?
Do what?
What does Azula bend?
She's fire. She's like the
sisters. Yeah.
The main like sister crazy lady. I love her so much.
It's been a while. I love that series. It's been a while. I haven't seen Korra.
Yeah, I have also not watched Korra, but I think they're adding it to Netflix, so I probably will end up watching it. So, but then I binged all of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is like the new She-Ra remake. I liked it. I will be cosplaying as Catra next year with my friend.
I absolutely loved it, and I thought of you as Catra, and by the end, I was legitimately crying at the end.
Yeah. My friend was like, "You have to watch it," and we watched like 8 of the episodes at her house. And I was like, I don't know what happens in the rest of the 5 seasons of this show, but if I do not make a Catra costume right now and dress up as her, I will not be able to die happy. So I have all the fabric and the ears sitting right over there.
Yeah, I think she has She has at least 3 distinct outfits that she wears throughout the series too, and man, that was so much better than I thought. I did not know what I was getting into when I
Yeah.
queued up She-Ra. I was like,
Yeah. I knew nothing about. I've never watched the original, so I didn't really know anything about that universe.
I
And so,
vaguely like I would turn on an episode of She-Ra and be like, "Hey, there's the girl version of He-Man." And like that
yeah,
would be it. And I wasn't terribly interested in He-Man either. I found it boring. I didn't
yeah,
understand what was going on. There was
yeah.
Skeletor, he was my favorite character, but like She-Ra, I really didn't understand. There's a little
Yeah,
cat, and not when I'm not even talking about like Catra. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like a cat
yeah,
that's hiding in every episode,
yeah,
and that would
yeah. So
be
it's
more
definitely,
interesting.
yeah. So yeah, I feel like I binged a bunch of stuff that I now have to cosplay from. And then I started watching Hannah, which is a Amazon original series based on the movie
Caught
Hannah.
all of that as well, yeah. And
And I'm partway through it, and I've really enjoyed it because I felt like they did a good job from the original movie that I also really liked.
yeah,
So, and I
so
have so many other things that people keep recommending me.
gonna
Um,
are you gonna cosplay as a 12-year-old assassin as well?
Probably not. I feel like I always cosplay as assassins. That's like 80% of my costumes.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So, like at some point, I have to not do that. So,
Mm.
but there
Well,
will be another. There's another Netflix show coming out. I think it's still coming out this year called Shadow and Bone. It's based on a book series I read that's super good. And I've already cosplayed as the character from the book, but I'm telling you, the moment they release what these characters look like in the show, I will be making the full costume that she wears in the show. It better come out this year. Corona better not stop this from happening. So it
man,
has too much stuff.
no guarantees this year. We're trying. Goodness
I know.
gracious.
And then we're going to be getting the Critical Role animated show. Probably not this year because it got postponed, but that's like my heart and soul. And I will be cosplaying a character from it whenever I've already cosplayed like 8 characters from this show, but I will be cosplaying another one
Now, if that happens and
whenever they show
Critical
me the
Role
character
gets
art.
like internationally famous, like everybody knows exactly what it is, will that ruin the appeal and you'll stop cosplaying as them?
No, I feel like it already kind of happened because
Uh-huh.
they raised $11 million on Kickstarter
That's
to
a
make
good
this
good
animated
fund.
series. And that was kind of like people suddenly like the news articles were like, whoa, whoa, whoa! There's this weird thing called D&D, and these people just made $11 million doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that's right, suckers. What's really gonna happen is it's gonna make me upset because Critical Role was not popular until the second season came out, which came out like a year and a half ago. And I had watched it from like the very beginning, like 6 years ago. I started watching the original series, and so this animated series is based on season 1. And so I think it's going to come out, and people are going to be like, "Season 1 is so great," and I'm going to be like, "No, you did not watch like 400 hours of this show of season 1. You just watched this animated series. That doesn't mean nothing to you." Like I was there. I've literally started watching the original series for the 3rd time this week. I've already dedicated like 800 hours to this show, and I'm doing it again because I just like it so much. So
I'm gonna go have
okay.
we're gonna go find Elevator Action Kid and have him explain to you what Critical Role was.
It's so good. I love it so much. It's my obsession. So that's yeah.
Let's see.
But I can't. But it's an obsession that I can't recommend other people watch because it's literally 400 hours of content. There are more hours of Critical Role than any other show that's ever been on TV. Like more hours than The Simpsons, more hours than Grey's Anatomy.
More
Like
hours
it
than The
has.
Simpsons? Is that possible?
Yes, it's literally so long. The first season has 115 episodes, and each episode is
Okay.
between 3 and 5 hours
Okay,
long.
You're right. You're right.
So
If
like,
those are the numbers, you're right. Holy cow.
and then season 2 has made it to 100 episodes, so it's already like 400 hours in, and they're still going. So it's like I've dedicated too much time to this show. It's a problem.
I'm not gonna
Like,
say anything. I like your crazy dedication to niche things. I
yeah,
like
I
that
have an obsessive
I can
personality.
ask if I can backflip over a BMX course and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're the kindred spirit for like every niche group out there.
yes, someone's got to do it.
I I guess. I mean, I'm happy someone does. I don't know. I'm the guy. I'm the one person who does like. Well, you are as well, but like, because you guys run the races, but I'll run the tournaments. Like we
Hmm.
had 30 players from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Tuesday, and they're like, "Yeah, we actually decided we want a tournament. Chris, can you do it?" And I'm like, "It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll
Yeah,
figure it
sure,
out."
yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody else is like, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I've been doing this for years, so
You just do it.
yeah, it's just what I do." Um, yeah, I don't really have too much more. What do you feel like? What do you feel like playing next? Are you next time you go to free play? What are you gonna go towards?
Well, I'm gonna play some
Uh
DDR
huh.
because I'm probably
And
going to
that's it.
Arlington. I'll play that for like until I get tired,
Mm.
and then I'll make my run through the few pinballs that I really like at Arlington, like World Cup Soccer and Pirates of the Caribbean, my secret powerhouse pinball game that I'm somehow really good at for no apparent reason,
Uh huh.
and Bride of Pinbot, and what else was there? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I want to cosplay as Gamora, which is going to be a problem because body paint, but
Mm.
it's probably going to happen still.
At least it's all one color.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, and my friend really wants to be Nebula, so it's like a match made in heaven. We have to
Also
do
one
it.
color. Yeah.
So, yeah, all of those, and then got to play a random game of King and Balloons, and then I think Discs of Tron is still there, right?
Yes.
That's another one of my
Yes.
favorites.
Dexatron is there.
Discs of Tron and Strategic Operations Simulator Star Trek.
Cool. Cool.
All of my random games that I like to play because I don't think. Now I can't think what the name of it is. I don't.
Sorry.
The puzzle game I
The
really
puzzle
like,
game,
but
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
that also as well. That one's still there.
Magical Drop 3.
Magical Drop.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Magical Drop. I don't think it's there anymore.
Evilness wants to know if I have any plans for Tuesday night fights because he's been out of state a lot lately. Last week we did Marvel vs. Capcom 2. There was a good turnout. Shockingly, almost pre-COVID turnout. This Tuesday, I'm moving. I'm moving August 1st, so that entire weekend. Kamber's family is actually helping me quite a bit. So I will be busy this Tuesday. I'll probably be asleep the next Tuesday. So in 3 Tuesdays, we're going to come back. And we talked about it today. We're probably, and Evilness is going to want to hear this, probably targeting King of Fighters 98 or some other King of Fighters title to put on the floor. Will there be a tournament? Probably not, because Kamber, when I did King of Fighters 98 Tuesday Night Fights online, that was my birthday, and it ended at 4 a.m. We just called it Wednesday morning fights, and I'm not exaggerating. It ended at 4 a.m. It would
That
not.
doesn't surprise me.
Yes. I don't even know if there was a bracket reset. It was just Evilness playing forever and ever and ever and ever. We were on time, too. We were in the final 4, and it was like 10 p.m., and I was like, we're good to go. There's only 4 players left. And then it just kept going, and it never ended. We may still be playing King of Fighters 98 Tuesday Night Fights now. I'm not sure. There's no guarantees. So yeah, that's where I'm going for Tuesday Night Fights. Unfortunately, I don't have. Do you have an XLR headset? Because if you have an XLR headset, will you please commentate everything?
I do not have anything that fancy. I don't even know what that is, but no.
It is a headset that has that looks like what I'm wearing now, because I'm wearing a XLR headset, and it has these fancy things. There's XLR. It's a broadcast standard, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I totes do not have anything like that.
Although your webcam microphone's doing quite well. What
I
kind of?
don't even have a headset when I do this.
Yeah, you sound crystal clear. I can hear
Well, you
everything.
can thank Apple for that.
What's that?
I'm using a Mac,
Oh, okay.
a very old Mac.
Then I will get me an old Mac, I guess. I gotta plug this back in so that you have a headset. Oddly, I can share my headset if you're at my house for the next week, where I'll live here. I have about 5 minutes till Pinballers. I guess I'll wrap it up and say thank you for joining. Is there anything? Let's see. I put your Instagram title down there at Kyrie Celeste. Follow Kamber on Instagram. Do you have a Twitter as well?
I do, but I hardly ever post there.
All right. Follow her on Instagram and on Facebook. Do you have a fan Facebook, or is it just your?
No, I have my personal one.
Okay, so Kamber.
I try not to, invade random people, like people that know me in real life, with all of my cosplay stuff.
Well, I'll say
They
it's
know I'm weird. Can't let them know.
Yes. How could they possibly figure out you're weird? No. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on Facebook, and check out all those cool
weird niche
cosplays and
costumes that I do that no one's ever heard of. Yeah, it's
exactly.
super great.
Yeah, like if she does a cosplay that you've heard of, then it's probably because like this one right here, Poison. I just asked her to do it. Like
Yeah.
that's sort of it.
I have stuff planned that will be recognizable. I say tentatively. I made Alice in Wonderland. That's like a thing people have seen before.
I remember Witch Mercy. Like I remember Corey, the owner of Free Play, introducing you as like Angel Girl or something like that. He couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah. And I was like, well, whatever.
Close enough. At least I got third. Also, I'm sick. Peace out.
Yeah. Hey, I am going to do another Overwatch cosplay next year, though, because in our year of the Lord 2021, still going hard in Overwatch.
Yeah, oddly.
So, because it's a costume that I wanted to do like 3 or 4 years ago, but I didn't think I had the skill. I wasn't confident enough to do it, and now I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Now
So,
you're confident in building a giant 14-foot mech.
yeah, totes.
Is that Reinhardt? Is that the one?
You have Diva, who has like the giant robot, and then Reinhardt is just like his own giant armor.
Yeah. I know I've seen way more Overwatch cosplay than I've played it, which I haven't actually played Overwatch. Watch the League.
I really enjoyed it, and I go to a lot of the League stuff with a friend of mine, so I was like, well, I might as well make a costume that I can wear to all these things. So
it looks great. It has 100% to do with the fact that my best friend made a game that came out the same week. So I was told to avoid Overwatch, and then by the time it took off, I was like, now you're saying it's good? I'm busy playing arcade games.
Yeah.
Evilness says good luck and loves your cosplaying. All right, I'm gonna hit the button because we're about 2 minutes from Pinballers. But thank you so much for joining us.
Take me out.
I'll see you. I hope to see you this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see.
Good luck in cash.
Yep.
You have racing this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we shall be racing. So we'll see how Cross and I do. Cross far more important than me because he's racing for money. I'm just racing for fun.
Are you out there too, David? You gonna race?
No, they banned me because I'm too good.
Yeah, that's totes what it was for sure.
Good luck.
Good luck. We'll catch you next time.
Yep.
Thanks for joining.
Peace out, bro scouts.